Hi, this is Mike from Random Acts of Cooking, and I'm going to do my version of a cook that I got off of the YouTube channel for armadillo pepper, and it's called Smoked Corned Beef Recipe with Southern Fried Cabbage on the Pit Barrel Cooker. Alright, let me show you what I'm going to do. I'll put it, hopefully I'll remember, but I'll put a link in the box below to their video of this. And now I'll show you what I'm going to do to hopefully not mess it up for my version. Okay, let me show you. Okay, I have a 3.6 pound corned beef brisket, a point cut. First thing I'm going to do is take this out of the package and rinse it off. We're not going to use the seasoning that came with it because I'm going to put on a different seasoning. Alright, let me get it out of here and do that. Okay, we've got this rinsed and patted dry, and now what I'm going to do is put a little mustard on here to use as a binder for the seasoning that we're going to put on here. And since this is a brisket, I'm going to use Oak Ridge Barbecue Black Ops brisket rub to season this brisket point. I don't think I mentioned it, but this is actually the day before St. Pat's Day. So what I'm going to do on this Friday, which is the 16th, is get this hermetically sealed in this saran wrap, and it is going to stay there until Saturday morning. So it'll be a good, maybe 16 hours or so that this is going to allow that seasoning to kind of soak in. So tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, we'll be back and slap the brisket some more. Alright, see you later. Okay, today is March 17th, St. Patty's Day. This has been in the fridge overnight plus a few hours, and I was going to hang this up, but because of the piece that's hanging off here, what I've decided to do is put it on my little Brady rack on the pit barrel cooker. At first, what we're going to do is touch this up with some of the Oak Ridge Barbecue Black Ops brisket rub. Now, this is going to sit here for maybe a half an hour while we get the pit barrel cooker ready outside, so see you there. Okay, it's a little bit breezy and cool. It's around 48-50 degrees outside. Got the pit barrel cooker with the IQ temperature control set at about 250 to 275. We're going to put our corned beef brisket point in. Get our probe in, and we're going to cook this till an internal of about 165 to 170. Then we'll go to the next step. So, see you in a little while. Okay, now for the simmer sauce, also known as the glazing sauce. We have 1 cup of beef broth, about 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, about 2 teaspoons of, I don't have brown mustard, but I have Dijon mustard, so about 2 teaspoons of that, about 1/4 cup of molasses, 1/3 of a cup of whiskey. I don't have Jameson's, I have Evan Williams, but hopefully close enough. Now that's it. This doesn't get heated up. We'll just put this in when the brisket reaches 165. We're at 138 now, so just a little bit longer. Okay, it's warmed up a little bit. It's almost to 55, but it's still a bit breezy today. I've just checked the internal temperature. We're about 163. I'm going to say this is ready to pull off, so let me get this off and then I'll show you what I'm going to do. Okay, we've got our corned beef brisket cooked to 163, a couple places, 164. In a disposable aluminum pan, I have my steaming liquid, the whiskey, molasses, brown sugar. We're just going to pour all that in there. I'm going to cover this with foil. Now this is going to go back on the pit barrel cooker until we get to an internal temperature of about 200, 205, somewhere around there. Okay, we got that back in there, and I am going to put my probe back in just an arbitrary spot to kind of keep an eye on it. And we're going to get this up, and we'll be back in maybe another hour or so. By the way, it's been cooking on about 2.5 hours so far to get to this point. So we'll see how much longer we go. Alright, later guys. Okay, we're up to 195 degrees on this corned beef roast. And it smells wonderful. So what I'm going to do is take the juice out of this pan. I'm going to put that on the stove, and we're going to simmer that and reduce that down and make a glaze for this corned beef. Alright, this has been reduced by about half, maybe a little more. We're putting this on the corned beef brisket. We're going to coat this really good and then put it back on the pit barrel cooker for about a half an hour, or however long it takes to get up to about 205 to 210. Alright, we'll cover this up, take it back out. See you in a bit. Okay, now for the southern fried cabbage. I have the bacon grease left over from cooking the pound of bacon, which by the time we get this all together, it's going to be about 2 slices too short. It fell into my mouth. Alright, first thing I'm going to do is put some of this cabbage in here. I don't know how much we'll be able to do. That's why I'm using this big pot so we can put, hopefully, most of it in here. Alright, I'm going to call that enough. That's probably about 2/3 of the head of cabbage. We'll get this stirred around that bacon grease. We're going to let this cook for about 3 minutes, stirring constantly. Okay, that's been going for about maybe 3 minutes, 3.5 minutes. For now, I have 1 whole diced green bell pepper. That's going in. 1 medium yellow onion. That goes in. About a tablespoon of minced garlic. I don't know how many cloves that is. And we're going to put about, not too much, maybe a teaspoon or so of salt. About a teaspoon of black pepper. And a dash of red pepper flakes. Not too much though. Let this cook down about another 3 minutes or so. And we're going to add a dash of Worcestershire sauce. I'm going to guess maybe a little more than a tablespoon. Now we're going to take that almost 1 pound of cooked bacon. Oh, it was 1 pound before it was cooked. Now that's all we have left. We're going to add that to the mix. And we'll cook that just a few more minutes, and then this will be done. Okay, here's the corned beef portion of the meal. I'm just going to start slicing in the middle because I don't remember which way the grain is going to go on this. Alright, I'm just going to take a slice here. I tell you, it cuts real easy, but I have a sharp knife. Smells great. This cooked for a total of about a little over 5.5 hours. Cuts with a fork. Let's take a bite of this. Okay, I got my first bite right here. Very tender, very juicy. My second bite. It is a little bit salty though. If I was going to do this again, I would probably make sure not to put quite as much rub on it. Maybe the second coating of rub I would have left off. But anyway, let's get over to the cabbage. The southern fried cabbage. I'll be right back. Okay, here's the other portions of the meal. Here's the southern fried cabbage. Also have just some potatoes and carrots to kind of round out the meal. So this is the cabbage, onion, bell pepper, bacon, seasonings, Worcestershire, that stuff. This is good. You know, I'm not a big cabbage fan, but oh, well, it's got bacon in it. Yeah, so it's got to be good. So yeah, this is really good. Corned beef, with the exception of it being just a little too salty for me. Got a lot of flavor, a little bit of smoke flavor. Got the sweet from the sweet taste from the sauce. All right, I'm gonna say, hey, this is really good. I'll probably try this again, especially the cabbage stuff. That was really good. All right, later, guys. Bye. Hey, this is Mike from Random Acts of Cooking, and I'm going to do a Mike's version of what I got from armadillopepper.com, or armadillo